Welcome to the Creative Brew, helping you keep your creative juices brewing. We're giving out chunks of insight, motivation, and practicality for your creative journey. If you're a creator, athlete, or entrepreneur, luck can only get you so far. Having the right skill sets are critical in your success. All Skill No Luck makes handcrafted, custom designed flannel wear, made in the United States and based here right in Oceanside, California. They pride themselves on quality, creativity, and attitude, the perfect brand for the Creative Brew. Use promo code CreativeBrew10 and get 10% off and free shipping within the United States. You can check them out at allskillnoluck.com. My next partner is Elevate Coffee Trading, and if you appreciate specialty coffee, enjoy outdoor adventure, and love helping elevate the lives of children around the world, then you're going to love Elevate Coffee Trading. Their mission is to extract hope through love, coffee, and adventures. There's free shipping in the United States, and every bag of coffee helps sponsor health and education for children in coffee-producing countries and in areas of need in the United States. You can use promo code Elevate21 on your next order, and you can follow their journey on social media at Elevate Coffee Trading. Or you can visit online at elevatecoffeetrading.com, and let's start extracting hope together. And this show is brought to you by Tennessee Grappling Apparel, based out of the Knoxville area. Lifestyle wear for the modern wrestler or grappler. Use the promo code CB10 on your next purchase at TennesseeGrapplingApparel.com. We got Rickey Smiley, not the Rickey Smiley that people may know from Atlanta, Georgia, the better Rickey Smiley. That's the co-founder of Broken Reality Comics, a up and coming indie publisher, comic book publisher. They got, like I said, got a whole assortment of titles, different genres to choose from, a wide, vast, really a whole universe of characters to choose from. Depending on what your likes is, and so yeah, just right now having the opportunity to be able to talk to Rickey and sort of share his insights and how everything even transpired and what's coming with Broken Reality Comics. So I'll let Rickey sort of introduce himself and share his journey.
Well, hello everybody. My name is Rickey Smiley, like he said, not that one that everybody is probably familiar with. But if he ever sees this, what's going on, man? How you doing? But I'm originally from Augusta, Georgia, and currently live in Atlanta. And like my boy Quantal said, I'm a comic book creator, writer specifically, and I just love doing this, man. Like I've been into comics for as long as I can remember. Well, actually, more manga, but I guess we'll touch on that later. But yeah, I mean, whatever else you want to know, feel free to ask.
Cool. Well, I mean, even and like I said, first of all, I applaud anybody for starting up their own thing. People don't realize, like, they say they want to do it, but until you actually get into the process of building it and making it, making it become a reality, it's really hard. So, and even being in the comic book industry, that could be equally as tough because there's so many, titles to choose from, creating that audience, advertising, marketing, branding, artwork, writing, like all that stuff plays a part. So people don't realize like the whole entire process involved. So like even with you, like now I see you now, and I've looked online, and I'll usually notice a lot of your titles and things that you're promoting. Now, a lot of those characters, um, were they? I would assume you created a lot of those characters, or I didn't know how that even started.
Okay, well, my characters are from the titles Chaos Theory. That's my personal books that I've written. The other characters that I promote, such as Alpha or Lancelot or Kajal or any of those people, they're a part of the greater universe, the Broken Realities universe. So like Legends, for example, is Griff's characters, BRC Fantasy on Instagram. And those titles, like the if you saw the story that or what I posted actually earlier this week with all the monsters and things of that nature, that's his books. Those come from his books. But when I post my stuff, like mine is more, I guess you would say, kind of supernatural, but I guess Gris is too. So it's just you gotta. I guess if you went to the books and you see who's doing what, then you'll know what's going on. But as far as my personal characters, they're Chaos Theory, and another upcoming title that I guess we can touch on later too.
All right, cool. So yeah, because I was, so with Broken Rally Comics, so you got these different genres. You got manga, horror, fantasy. So all these different characters, all these different universes, all under one sort of reality.
Mhm.
Now, as far as from a story perspective, are they? I didn't know. Are they tied in with certain things, or
They
if they? I
are.
didn't know if they were separate. Uh, okay.
They are. They I mean, I guess for lack of a better word, because I know Griff hates to say that, Griff hates when we say this, but for lack of a better word, it's a DC Marvel thing going on. Like all, like as of right now, and I don't want to give away too much, but as of right now, like all of our stories are independent stories, but they're all gonna be tied in to. There's gonna be little things that you'll notice in the books moving forward that'll tie one property to the next, that will eventually lead up to something real big.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I don't want you giving out all that information, but yeah, gotta keep that under wraps. But
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I can say that much.
so as far as your, I mean, even with you in the process, now I know you've elaborated just a little bit. Like I said, I know you've got your own side business, your other business that you run. Um, have you always had that love for comics and like wanting to be in that arena? Or I didn't know like what was that part? I didn't know where that point was like, okay, I've got my regular job, I got something I do, but like what was that point to where like, hey, I want to jump into the comic book industry? I didn't know what that point was.
Man, it's interesting that you asked me that because like I said earlier, I've always been like into comics. Like some of my earliest memories of cognition starts with a comic book or some type of movie or something like that. Like one of the my biggest inspiration for me just wanting to get into this world, and it's gonna sound funny, but my biggest inspiration was the Transformers movie, the 1986 one. I
That's
went to I went to my one of my older cousins took me to the movies to see that movie, and from there I was just hooked. And I was already a Transformers kid to begin with, but then when I saw the movie and just how intense it was and how high the stakes was and all the action and everything that was going on, something in me just clicked. And from that point until today, I've always dabbled into some sort of anime, comics, or whatever. And I've been actually, honestly, more on the anime side of things. Like my I guess depth in comics really pretty much goes as far as Spider-Man and the X-Men.
yeah.
Like I read a lot of Claremont's X-Men, and I read a whole lot of Spider-Man from that time too, like from the 80s and the 90s and stuff, like the Secret Wars and all. Like I read all of that. But as far as manga is concerned and anime, that was where my actual strong my passion was, I guess, so to speak. And that's where I draw a lot of my inspiration from.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, it's yeah, definitely I'm a huge fan of Transformers. I still count that as one of my favorite movies of all time.
Mhm.
Actually, made my I'm gonna say I made my wife, but I enticed my wife to watch it re-released for the 30, I think 35th anniversary not too
Yeah,
long ago, and it
yeah,
re-released in theaters, and they had it out here. And I got my wife to come watch me watch Transformers the movie, the 1986 version with me, and she actually liked. She's like, it's pretty cool.
yeah,
One of the best soundtracks of all time.
yeah. I was listening. I was actually listening to Dare earlier today. So
Oh
yeah,
wow. Well,
yeah.
that's good. Yeah, I'm yeah, man, that's cool because I'm always interested in it as far as like because I think there's a lot of people that's wanting to create something, wanting to develop a business or an ideal or even a comic book series, but they didn't for whatever reason, like they just didn't have that momentum, or maybe the opportunities weren't there, or maybe they just didn't have um, maybe like the motivation to actually pursue it.
Mhm.
What was that first point for you as far as like, hey, I'm gonna start my first series. Like I didn't know like if you already had that ideal for a character in mind, or you just wanted to just jump into it in some form or fashion.
Um, I guess to be honest, like, cause when I was a kid, I used to draw. I mean, I really can't draw that well, but when I was a kid, I used to draw and write and things of that nature. So I think I kind of like always had the desire to do it. And to be honest, I really it kind of just I kind of just woke up one day and said, "Fuck it." Oh, I'm sorry.
No, no, you can. No, you good.
I kind of just woke up one day and just it's like, man, matter of fact, I'm a, this is what it really was. When Transformers Last Night came out, me and my wife went to go see that, and she's obviously not into Transformers like I am, of course. So we've gone to see all of the Transformers movies from after Dark of the Moon, because that's when we started dating. So from Dark on the Moon up until the last night, we've gone to all the Transformers movies.
Oh wow. Okay.
I've drug her with me to see all these, and she actually likes the Bay movies, so there wasn't that much of a big deal for her. But what happened is when I would watch the movies, I would complain about, man, Optimus Prime wouldn't do this, and all this, just how we get, like, it wouldn't this wouldn't happen, or where's Cybertron, or what's this, and why is Megatron changing into these little nanobot things? What I'm saying? Like, I used to complain all the time. And like she would just be like, "Well, it's just a movie. If you want to do it, if you want to, do something, you write your own movie or something like that." And then that's where the idea came from. It's like, you know what, you're right. Instead of instead of complaining, because it was me nitpicking. Because overall, I do enjoy the movies. It's good for you to turn your brain off and just watch a whole bunch of explosions and stuff.
Yeah.
But but I'm real like into the stories and like the narratives and things of that nature. And that's the part that I wanted to bring to my own stuff, I guess. So that's where it came from. Like, I watched a bunch of the Transformers movies, complained. I got nagged at about, well, if you don't like it, then write your own. And then there you go. I just decided, you know what, you're right. I'm gonna do it. And here we are. It's but it's always been, like I said, something that's been in me, man. Like, when I was a kid, right, me and my cousins would like play with the action figures, and we would have like real series. Like, we wouldn't just be mashing them together, talking about, yeah, I beat you up, and like, we would sit down. Like, this is usually what we would do. We would sit down on a Saturday morning, get up, eat our cereal and do whatever we did. Watch all of the cartoons, and at that time it was X-Men and Spider-Man that would come on.
Yep.
We watched those, and then after that, we just dump all the, because we had all those toys. We had all the Spider-Man and all the X-Men, and we'd have Transformers and Spider-Man fighting each other, and and have like real storylines going on. So I think it kind of started from there. And I used to write in my journal and stuff like that. So like I said, I've always had it in me and the desire to do it. It was just her giving me that push to say, hey, if you complaining about it, then why don't you just go on and do it yourself and see what happens? And like I said, here we are.
Yeah, that's man, I think sometimes that can be like the bane of any creator or aspiring writer. Like we got it in us. We know it's
Mm,
there, but sometimes we need that. And I think sometimes we put so much emotion and investment into it, and a lot of times we just need someone else that has like no emotion to it whatsoever to sort of give us that nudge and be like, well, go do it.
yeah,
uh,
do it yourself.
yeah, and it's one of those where it's like it's so simple, but it at the same time tough too, because it's like, okay, I want to do it, but I want to make sure I do it right. I want to make sure I have a great story, great narrative, great characters. Um, yeah, and it can be tough. I mean, I know I'm developing working on a book right now, and you know, uh, my wife was like, "Well, just go ahead and just put it out. Like, why is it so hard?" And I'm like, "Well,
Yeah.
you got all these things to consider." It's like, and I don't know, maybe we just need to get out of our own way and just put it out there. So, like I said, I always applaud anybody, especially you and others that's actually creating their own thing and putting it out in the universe. And good or bad, we can always go back and sort of critique our work, but
Mm,
you actually put it out there, and that's the first step to anything. Um,
mm,
so yeah, it can be it can be hard. I mean, it's a lot of energy, a lot of investment put into something like that. So for people that's watching or people that will watch in the future, what's one of the main titles or maybe one of your main characters that you've put out that maybe you want to talk about?
okay. Well, I guess we can. That's a perfect segue into what I was talking about earlier. Chaos Theory is the all the books that I have. I have. Oh, well, this is an exclusive for you. Chaos Theory has two chapters out now, and if some a quite and this from everybody that has read it, it's been getting pretty good reception. So I'm thankful for that. But since we merged together, there have been some tweaks to the story to fit in with the greater universe.
Yeah.
So exclusive news: Chaos Theory 2 will be retconned in the future once we get back to that. But Chaos Theory the series is kind of on hold right now because dun, 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 right now the next what's going to be coming out is a series called Manhunter, and it's starring Nico. She was in Chaos Theory and she's part of that universe, of course. But this story is going to be more centered around her and where she how she got her powers and what her motivations are. And it's kind of a backstory for her, but it also kind of serves as a prologue to the greater Chaos Theory universe or whatever. Manhunter's gonna have, I'm thinking maybe 10 chapters or so, maybe give or take, depending on how long they are. And from there it'll lead into Chaos Theory proper. Then we'll be back into that. But her name is Nico Ayodele. She is dope. She's dope, man. Like her power set pretty much is a nano suit, and I don't. I let me see. Is I don't know if this would be a spoiler, but
Don't give out too many spoilers. Just
uh,
enough information.
yeah, but she has a cool suit, a suit of armor, you know, and I guess we'll see how it works when the story comes out or whatever. But she's scrappy. She's layered. Like when people when people see her, when people meet her, they're gonna the reaction that I'm hoping is like, wow, this character she's really on her shit, like she's really about her business. But once we dive deeper into her psyche, it's like I want to peel back the layers as to why she is the way that she is because she's ruthless, man. She's brutal. Like it's called Manhunter for a reason. You know, so it's not just a cool. I mean, of course, there's a pretty cool name. I guess I think it is anyway, but it serves a purpose more than just being an edgy title. Like that's really what she is. She is a hunter of men, and she collects trophies, and she takes no prisoners. And if you get in her way, then you end up as a stain on the floor.
Oh wow. So when is that? So okay, now that sounds like a really great story. So when is that supposed to be releasing out?
We're shooting for Halloween.
Okay, yeah, that's yeah, great time. Yeah.
Yeah, we're shooting for Halloween to at least drop a short, like a few pages or so, just to see how people receive it. But I guess depending on how things go in the background, it could be the complete first issue. But Halloween for sure is something's gonna be up. Like it's either gonna be like some teaser stuff or actual whole first issue of hers.
Nice, nice. So right now, so I was looking on the website. If you go to Broken Reality, was it Broken Reality Comics?
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
okay. So if people get a chance to check out Broken Reality Comics, you can go do. They have a literally a wide assortment. You can go down and just they got so many different titles to choose from, and then upcoming titles as well. Now, I see a lot of those are digital. Are you wanting to stay digital, or are you trying to go to more like physical books too as well?
Well, it's going to be primarily digital, but we'll have some physical copies. I personally want to do physicals for my stuff, and I guess it just kind of excuse me. It just kind of depends on what the other creators want to do. I guess some of them are probably want to do physicals too, but the the primary way that is going to be seen is digital for at least until for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
that, and I know I'm always being me. I'm always on the sort of design and branding side. Do you see your as far as even with your character? Do you see a lot of your intellectual property being merchandised or getting converted as far as like potential cartoons or film or things like that? I didn't know how you envision um, a lot of your characters.
yes, sir. That's that's honestly the goal. Like the goal at the end of the day is to take the characters off the page and put them in a whole lot of different arenas. Like we want to do, well, they don't want to call it anime, but that's what I'm gonna call it. We want to do anime, and we want to do films and video games and things of that nature. Like we were actually just brainstorming and talking about trying to possibly do a fighting game at some point in the future because we got so many because we have so many dope characters with
Yeah,
that can scrap. So it's like, man, have y'all played Marvel vs. Capcom? We could do that. We got the characters to do something like that. So and I know that's going to be a while down the road because of course that takes a lot of money, but that's definitely a goal of ours and a personal goal of mine, but a goal of the collective as well. Like we all want to do that.
yeah.
So yeah.
So how do you feel? I mean, and I know you've got your own individual titles and things that you have going on, but being part of a sort of a group collective with Broken Reality, what are the the pros and cons? I know there's sometimes there's certain decisions like you would want to make as
Mhm.
opposed to like if I was just doing my own thing, I could just go ahead and go with it. But now I've got other people to consider. What's been the as far as the collaborative effort? How do you feel about that right now?
I mean, it's cool, man. It's cool. Like you just basically just hit the nail on the head right there. Like the biggest con about it all is you just can't go balls to the wall with whatever it is that you want to do, especially in our case because we are consciously trying to weave together all of these different places because it's not just like one person is in this universe here, one person is in the universe here. Like we're all on the same continent, like Marvel characters, like Spider-Man and the Avengers is in New York and stuff like that, and the X-Men might be in Los Angeles or whatever. Like that's what we have going on. We all inhabit the actual same Earth or whatnot. So if I want to do some big, you know, world-ending event, I couldn't necessarily do that because that'd be everybody. Where's everybody else? You know, like everybody else needs to be involved in this too. So like that's like you said, that's the biggest, you know, gripe about it all is you just can't go balls to the wall and do whatever you want to do. But I mean, that's not really necessarily a bad thing because in some cases it reels you in. You know, like you don't want to blow your load too early or whatever.
Yeah.
So you know, it's cool though because the best parts about it is just having other people to bounce ideas off with, and the fact that everybody is on the same page as far as trying to make this thing turn into something bigger than ourselves is also awesome because that means that we all are trying to do our best to put the best stories out that we can, and
Yeah.
we, you know, like I said, bounce ideas off each other. And you know, if I'm feeling down one day, my one of my guys can pick me up, and vice versa. So you know, it's cool, man. You know, like the old saying goes, man, you can't build anything by yourself. You know, you're gonna need other people. So if I can check my ego at the door and like, well, okay, I might not be able to do this, you know, giant event right here, but it's for the greater good of the collective and everybody else. And you know, I'm good with that at the end of the day, as long as you know, as long as everybody else is on the same page, which we have been. So I have no complaints about my guys. You know, they thorough, man, and I honestly can't wait until we get the ball rolling fully to where all of these things that we're talking about in the background is out in the open for y'all to see. Because I strongly believe with every fiber of my being that we are sitting on something really cool, really dope, you know, and I
Yeah.
can't wait for y'all to see it.
That's great. That's great. So right now, I mean, and then circling back, even with potential creators, people that, hey, I've got an idea, or maybe I've got a book, I'm looking for a publisher. Are those things available through Broken Reality? So maybe I'm just a creator wanting to get into the industry, or maybe I already have a book and I'm trying to partner up with somebody. Are those things available too?
hmm
Okay.
Griff Griff would know. Griff would have a more in-depth explanation than I would because
Okay.
they handle all of that. But yeah, I mean, there's actually a couple of guys with us now that are publishing through us, and they have a Kickstarter coming out on the 20th. It's the Super Stoner Chronic Rangers, and yeah, and it's actually pretty good, man. Like it's pretty good. Like it's the pretty much the gag of it is that of course it's like a kind of like a Power Rangers type thing, but the thing is like they smoke weed, and when they smoke, then they get into adventures, and it's like, well, now the reader has to figure out, well, are these things really happening, or are these guys just so high that they just, you know, dreaming that they fighting monsters and aliens and stuff like that. So it's pretty dope, man. Like I like I like it. But yeah, those guys, they have their Kickstarter and it'll be live on the 20th of April actually. So we've been promoting it, but now we're finna go full force in promoting that so they can get that out there. But yeah, that's definitely an option to, you know, publish through us. But like I said, Griff will have more in-depth information about it than I would.
All right, cool, cool. And then right now, I mean, what things are inspiring you right now?
Man, I love this question. My biggest inspiration right now, well, my biggest inspiration, period. Well, let me reel myself in right quick, because it's kind of layered for me personally. Because like I said earlier, my first and my, I guess, biggest inspiration would be the old school Transformers. Like that's where my heart always is gonna be. But as I got older and started to dibble dabble in a lot of manga and anime and stuff, my inspiration shifted a little bit. So the I guess you could say the biggest thing that is inspired me to want to do this and to really like want to put that brutal spin on it is Berserk and Gantz. And I love those mangas to death. Like I've read Berserk probably 10 times from chapter one up until the most recent chapter. Like I'm anxiously, patiently waiting on chapter 373 to come out now. It's supposed to come out in the next couple of weeks, so um, I'm waiting on that. But yeah, my biggest inspiration would it goes between the Transformers, the Spider-Man universe, and Berserk. And then you can throw a whole bunch of other little things in there because I'm a big gamer too. So like Devil May Cry or like Prototype, Metal Gear Solid. Like I draw a lot from a whole lot of different things, and that's why I love that question, man. Because like I can really sit here and all day and just be like, yeah, man, I drew this from this, and this part of the narrative is like it's coming from here, and the visuals I want them to be like this. So it's 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 dope, man. Like I have a million things that I could go down the list about as far as things that inspire me. But yeah, my biggest inspirations are Transformers, the Spider-Man universe, and Berserk.
Yeah.
Definitely Berserk.
Yeah, I heard Berserk was wild. I seen the I seen the movies on Netflix, and I heard the it don't even do the book justice,
It
uh,
doesn't.
from what I heard. But
It,
yeah, Berserk is
it,
wild.
it doesn't. Like the movie and those movies actually are pretty good. Like I enjoy them for what they are. But yeah, if you want the full experience, man, like you gotta read the manga. And I know it's kind of like it's a tall task because it's 300 and some chapters.
Yeah,
But if if you start, it's gonna be hard for you to stop, especially if you like really deep layered characters and just the awesome narrative and some of the most beautiful visuals you'll ever see in any manga, comic, anything. Like just the whole combination of how it all comes together. Like if I could have something that's half of what that is, I'd be proud of myself. Because in my mind, and a lot of other people's apparently, it's a masterpiece, man. Like you can't really get too much better than that as far as the complete package, the story, the art, the depth of the writing. Like you can't really too much get better than that. So if I could have something just half of what that is, as far as all of that put together, then I feel like I've achieved something great.
yeah, yeah. So we'll go into creative tips. You know, this is something I ask all my guests. What is a creative tip or tips you can provide our audience?
Well, let's see. Well, I guess I will have to ask you like as far as getting started or
Yeah, it can be anything. And it could relate to creativity, life. I count it. It's all mixed in between. So what's a tip? What's a good creative tip? It could be regarding anything that you could give to our audience.
okay. Uh, well, the biggest tip that I could give is, and this is a tip that was given to me that I'll pass on, is to write what you feel. Like write what's on your heart, and when you do that, you will find that whatever it is that you are creating would be easier than you trying to shoehorn yourself into something that you don't necessarily want to do. Like I use myself as an example. Like I said, Berserk is an inspiration of mine, but not just that, but just horror movies and things like that in general. So I've always had this visceral, like primal side to my writing as far, or just things that I like to see or whatever. Like I love Predator movies and stuff like that. So like the things that I want to write are in that vein. Like I want to display just the brutality of combat and just things of that nature, and just that's what I want to put out there. So instead of me trying to force myself into writing children's books or love stories or something, like, because I possibly could do that because I write poems too. So I could probably pivot to doing a romance, something like that. But I don't want to do that. I want to do I want to do a sci-fi horror, dark sci-fi horror where people are getting rolled over and things that are bigger than what we understand are looming over humanity. Like I want to dive into those types of things. So that's what I did, and I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna be unapologetic about it. So I would say that would be the biggest thing that I would say to anybody. Like, and that can go for whatever it is that you like. You may not care for sci-fi horror or whatever the case may be. You might like romance or slice of life or whatever. And if that's what you want to do, then do that, because you'll be at your best when you are comfortable and you are really invested in what you're doing. So that would be my biggest tip. Just write what's on your heart, write what you feel.
Man, that's a great tip. Great tip. Um, Heck, top five horror movies. What you got?
Oh man, let's see. Top five horror movies. Uh Hereditary just made it into my number one.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen that yet, but yeah,
I keep hearing about it and I need to check it out.
Hereditary made it into my number one, and I wasn't expecting it, but it when I saw it, I was like, oh my god, I love this. So Hereditary is my number one, right? And this is, it's subject to change, but as of right now, I say Hereditary one. Uh, Halloween, the original one,
Hmm.
the one from the '70s, would be number two, because that movie scared the fuck out of me when I was a kid. uh, um, mm, Predator one,
Okay.
Predator one. A lot of people don't consider that a horror movie, but to me it is, because you know you got five commandos getting hunted down by this thing, like so I'll put that in there. Um, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original one,
That
love that.
that's yeah, that scared me half to death.
Yeah, the original one. And I guess my fifth one, um, I guess I throw a Freddy in there and put Nightmare one.
Okay.
Nightmare one was pretty hardcore, man.
Yeah, yeah.
That scared me pretty good when I was a kid. But the thing with Freddy, man, like Freddy was scared for the first movie and a half, and after that he kind of just became a comedian. So that's why he's low. Like if he would have stayed like how he was in Nightmare one, he probably could have been number one, man. Because what are you gonna do with a dream demon,
Yeah. Yeah. All those. Yeah, Hereditary I keep hearing about. I need to check that out. Yeah, all the rest of them, yeah, scared me to death. And then my imagination just goes into haywire mode, after watching something like that. Now I don't even want to sleep. I'm just sitting there just
They gonna come and get me.
yeah, yeah, those are some good picks. Good picks.
Yeah, but I,
Um,
I definitely would tell you to check out Hereditary though, man. It's real good.
all right, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna
It,
check that
it, it's wild though. I'm a give you a warning. It's wild. Like the
out.
whole the concept of it and what goes on and all of that. Like it's pretty wild. But if you can get past all that, then you got you a gem.
All right, I'm gonna check that out. Now, have you seen Barbarian?
I haven't. I heard about it though. I've
Yeah,
heard about it.
check out Barbarian. I feel. I thought it was the best horror movie of like 2022, personally. And but I'll let you check it out. I'll let you be the judge on that one.
I'm gonna look for it today. And it's on HBO or something.
Yeah, I think so.
Hereditary is too.
All right, I'm gonna check that out. I'm gonna send you an email, like Ricky. Hey, this is a tough watch.
It's not. I mean, well, it is some gore in it, but it's more the thing of it's more psychological than anything else. And then like it's kind of like it deals with the supernatural and all of that. So it's like it's wild, man.
All right, yeah, okay. I'm
it's,
gonna check it out. I'll check it out.
it's
Um,
wild.
before we sign off, just what some lasting words of wisdom, some words of wisdom that you can provide for our audience. Just something that may resonate with the people watching or people that will listen or watch in the future. What are those words of wisdom?
Mm, man, just be authentic with yourself. Be authentic with yourself and just live life the way that you want to live it. As long as you're not, you know, hurting anybody or doing anything crazy that's gonna affect other people, live your life. Because as far as we know, we only get one. You know, so I, tell my son all the time that you don't want to get old and have a lot of what ifs. Because we're gonna have some. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be able to do or pursue everything in your life, every idea that you have or whatever. But you want to do as much as you can while you can. You don't want to be on your deathbed thinking, well, what if I would have did this, or what if this would have happened, or what if I would have got up and done such and such. So just live your life. Live your life. Be true to yourself, and live unapologetically. Do what you can while you can, and just give it everything you got. If you fail, then at the very least, then you know that you tried. And maybe you'll fall into something else. But yeah, that's what I tell my son, and that's what I would tell anyone, young, old, or whatever. Just be you, live your life, do what you want to do what's on your heart, go with what your heart tells you what to do, because
No,
you're not gonna lie to yourself.
hey, that's truth. That's the truth. Well, before we sign off, how can people get in touch with you or get connected with Broken Reality Comics? Buy some comics. Um, get connected with your world. What's the best way of reaching out to you?
Okay, well, first I'm gonna shout out my guys from BRC. If you want to check me out and check everybody else out, it's brokenrealitycomics.com. And well, hold on. Yeah, broken hyphen reality hyphen comics.com. The site actually just got updated, so we looking pretty professional over here. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm loving the visuals that we got going on. But yeah, brokenrealitycomics.com to get in contact with all of us. If you would like to follow me personally, then there's BRC Horror on Instagram. And that's primarily just, promoting my stuff and everybody else's stuff. It's an extension of Broken Realities page or whatever. But for my personal page, and this is going to be cool, I'm on Instagram as Nah, Not That Rickey Smiley. NAH, Not That Rickey Smiley. That's that's my Instagram for my personal page and my personal stuff. And you know, I just be on there messing around, man. I just post some memes and some crazy stuff from time to time, show my personality a little bit because I'm kind of a big kid at heart, and I
Yeah.
like to laugh. I like to laugh, so I'll post some crazy stuff from time to time. But yeah, that's where I am on Instagram and brokenrealitycomics.com. And Chaos Theory 1 and 2 is out right now. You might want to get 2 while you can, because at some point in the future, Chaos Theory 2 isn't going to be available anymore. And it might be worth something one day. So hey, you might want to jump on that. But and be looking out for Manhunter. That should be coming out around October, the fall of this year. And I'm real excited about that, because just the whole premise of it all and what we got going on and the revamps and all of that. Like I'm on it, man. I'm ready for y'all to see it.
Hey, good deal, man. Well, I said I think I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna go ahead and purchase Chaos Theory. I'm gonna go ahead and get that so I can check those titles out before that late. Hey, you just never know. I'm real big on, like, people don't realize, like, the stuff that, like, even you're creating, other independent creators are making. A lot of the movies and stuff that they see on Netflix, and like, where did this come from? It was from an independent publisher. So
Yeah.
don't so you don't know what's going to be popping off in the next 5 to 10 years. So you could be seeing a Manhunter or a Chaos Theory in the future. If you do see it, it was from the real Rickey Smiley, not the other one,
Not the other
other
one.
Rickey
Not
Smiley.
not that
Um,
Rick.
so yeah, man, just yeah, people don't realize some of that stuff now. Get it now before it gets hot, because like I said, that those can turn to collector's items.
Yeah.
Um, but hey, other than that, hey, this has been a great episode with Rickey Smiley. Check out all this stuff. I'm gonna say I'm always an advocate, man. Support your local creators. Support all your independent creators. People that's doing their own thing. They poured their heart and soul into creating these characters, creating these universes. Support them in some form or fashion. You don't know anyone from Marvel or DC. I mean, obviously, if you're in the comic book industry or whatever, you
Yeah.
may know someone. But outside of that, you would rather support someone that you know personally. So check out the stuff he's got at Broken Reality Comics. Check out his pages on Instagram. And or if you know a local creator or an indie creator, support them in some form or fashion. Support their businesses,
Mhm.
support their organizations. That's something that they were, I think for anybody, they have those skills and talents to be able to create something like that. Support them in some form or fashion.
Mhm.
So I'm just a big advocate for that. And then also too, um, for people, another quick announcement for people that are interested in for high school seniors that's in the creative arts that are looking for a scholarship, go to langforddesign.com. I'll put that in the show notes. Click on the scholarship, and then you can apply for a art scholarship. So it's in memory of my mom that just passed away recently, and so me and my brother created a new art scholarship. And
Lost, man.
my mom's name. So for any high school seniors that's looking to go into higher education in the creative arts, that's available. So we just started that this year, and so I just wanted to pass that out. And then if you want to support this episode as well as future episodes, go to www.buymeacoffee.com / the creative brew. And for the price of your cup of coffee that you usually get, you can help support this show in any form or fashion. So everything helps. And I plan on trying to create some more content, extra content in the membership portion. So go to www.buymeacoffee.com / the creative brew, and then you can support this show for $5, and help support um, you know up and coming creators like me and other people.
Yes.
So other than that, hey, this has been a great episode. As always, be creative, stay inspired.
No, I won't take it. No, we won't take it.